Hey, welcome to Red Cell Review. Last night, I had a little audio technical difficulties, as usual. Always my fault, though. I was on mute for like the first half hour of the show or so. So, there was no audio, so I figured let me upload the video again and get everything straightened out. But before we go on to the show, I'm going to play Lethal Vendetta. They have a new video for a song called No Prisoners, No Mercy. And just came out last week, and Brent asked me if I could play it on the show, and I said sure. So sit back, watch this for a little while, and then enjoy Red Sound Review. See ya.
Do not show them mercy, for they will not show any. Do not spare their lives, for they will not spare yours. Watch the sun turn black as they charge. Get ready to attack. No prisoners, no mercy. Watch the sun turn black as they charge. Get ready to attack. No prisoners, no mercy. Use your shield and sword, for they will paint you red. And leave your fear at home, for they will use it against you. Now, do not show weakness, for they will crush you with all their strength. And do not stop to catch breath, for they will make it your last. Watch the sun turn black as they charge. Get ready to attack. No prisoners, no mercy. Watch the sun turn black as they charge. Get ready to attack. No prisoners, no mercy.
Oh, oops, I gotta fix the thing too. Welcome to Rat Salad Review. As you can tell, I am not ready for anything. The screen's all messed up. We're a little out of sorts tonight because we had a guest on tonight, but have to change plans and when he's going to come on. Maybe next month, maybe not at all. I don't know. But anyway, so
It's a mystery.
it's a mystery. So tonight's just going to be a show of I don't know what. How's everybody doing?
Good. And I mean,
Pretty good.
How's the weather over there, Greg?
really, really frigid.
We should have you go outside.
Nah, fuck that. I'm good on outside.
Come on. With shorts on. And no shirt and shorts. No shoes either.
It's tough to even stand out there for a couple minutes.
Oh, now he's going dark. You can't handle below 50 degrees?
He can't. See? He froze.
He froze. His connection froze. It's so cold.
So cold that he froze. There he goes.
There you go.
He thawed out because he started smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
Welcome back. All right, anyway. So there's a lot of Kiss news in the lot of Kiss news in the news today.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed Ace Frehley's response to Gene.
Yeah, that's the first one I was going to go to. Ace Frehley blast Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley for reunion comments. Now the
Good.
I'm trying to find out where you see.
He also groped his wife, supposedly, allegedly.
Oh, who's that? Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
Ace's wife.
Ace Frehley, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, Ace says, Gene, your memory is really incorrect. I guess they're talking about how Ace and Peter were fired like 3 times because of not being able to pull their own weight, I guess. So anyway, he goes,
Yeah.
You're really incorrect. I was never fired from Kiss. I quit twice, not 3 times, of my own free will, because you and Paul are control freaks, untrustworthy, and were too difficult to work with. I find that kind of hard to believe.
Sounds like the truth.
Your slanderous remarks about my bad habits over the years has cost me millions of dollars, and now that I'm over 12 years sober, you're still saying I can't be trusted to play a whole night's show. Well, that's exactly what I've been doing for the last 12 years with different configurations of the Ace Frehley band, to you and Paul's dismay. I'm also the most successful solo artist to come out of the original Kiss lineup. Yeah, I guess he is. I'm proud of it. You and Paul have tried to derail my solo career multiple times over the years unsuccessfully. And he's tried to be nice and friendly, which is weird because they didn't Paul Stanley join Ace up on stage not too long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just saw when Gene Simmons was doing his little vault tour thing, he had Ace with him. And I saw that, and Ace really seemed like the main draw of it.
Everybody talks about Ace,
Yeah, well, it's true that he added Ace to it. The reason he did that is because he couldn't sell tickets when it was just him on his own.
Yeah.
Or sell enough of them.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I've heard his solo records. I wouldn't go to a Gene Simmons concert.
Oh, no, his solo albums are crap. Really. But it's funny that Ace stole Gene Simmons' backing band, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last month or something like that. Fired his,
Really?
Yeah, he fired his band, and then he got Gene Simmons' band.
Nice.
So, yeah. So now they're having a fight because I guess now they're not going to invite Ace to come out and play on the farewell tour. I guess Ace wants to come out and play. He said he can play like a song or two here and there, but they're not going to trust him for the whole tour, which is understandable. He's kind of reckless a bit.
been like that in years, though. I can see why he's pissed off.
He hasn't been. I get it too, but with his track record, you know, any moment, maybe it's the Kiss thing when he's in Kiss. Maybe that makes him fall off the wagon. You know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, no, I did read well, I hate Gene Simmons. He's a fucking piece of shit. But you know, his interview was just him being a pompous ass like usual. But I did read Paul's interview, and though he said kind of similar things about Ace and Peter, he wasn't quite as extreme about it. And he also took the time to mention Bruce Kulick and said Bruce was always welcome. So that'd be kind of cool to see, I think. I mean, you know, Bruce was on quite a few albums with him and a few classic songs.
You think he'd show up, though?
No, I don't think Bruce Kulick wants anything to do with it, so it'll never happen. But it was funny, though, because towards the end of the interviewer asked him something like, so really any ex-member of Kiss? And Paul's like, oh, yeah, and he names a couple of people. He's like, well, except Vinnie Vincent.
He just canceled his comeback shows.
Yeah, I know.
And he put the promoters in a real jam.
Yeah. Took him a little longer to do it than I thought it would, but I knew something like that was coming.
He's a clown. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, he's on an iconic record. You know, he was a great, you know, musician and songwriter, no doubt, but he's a clown. Sorry. You know, who does that? Like, who goes through all that trouble to book these comeback shows and then cancels them? You don't do that. Especially someone like him, you know, like, you don't do that. I mean, look, how many people did he affect by doing that?
Well, he ripped off his fans in the past with that box set he never put out.
Oh, yeah, he did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Especially when this whole thing was supposed to happen in November, and then he canceled it. And then I think the singer that he was working with at the time, he quit too because he just couldn't trust, I guess, Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah, he sang on the first Invasion record, Robert Fleischman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he's just up to his old tricks again.
Yeah, he got them left.
Dude's got a serious mental problem, I believe. I mean, I've dealt with him before through that message board and some other things I won't get into now. But yeah,
is he transitioning?
No.
Like realistically, is he transitioning?
From the pictures, it looks like it.
It does. I don't know what to make of that. And I'm not saying it to make fun of him.
Right.
You know, to make fun of him. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
It does.
I never heard anything like that, but he's always had a thing for wearing women's clothes and makeup and shit.
And pink.
Yeah. and that's the thing about.
There he goes again.
And he's frozen.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. There's actually a metal version of that out there. Did you see
really?
it?
No.
Yeah, let it go.
That's nice.
Let it go. Let it go.
This is an A. You guys are frozen.
You froze. What'd you say, Greg?
I said this is a pain in the ass.
It is. Tonight's show won't be very long.
You guys keep freezing. I don't.
Actually, you're freezing.
I got my heater right here. I'm good.
I have my hat on.
Got a hat on.
Cool. Well, aren't you just the classy prostitute?
Yep, that's me.
I got my long johns on. I'm good. It's just my internet connection sucks.
Your internet connection needs some insulation.
Yeah. Well, it's free Wi-Fi because the regular cable and internet is out because of the cold, I guess.
Lame.
Yeah.
We had like a little, they call it snow squall. It came through for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I saw it happening, and I ran out real quick. And, of course, just as I was getting to where I was going, you couldn't see, like, a foot in front of you. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I got past that little section, it was gone and over with. It was very weird.
That's strange.
But anyway, back to some news. AC/DC. Brian Johnson apparently confirms new AC/DC album and he is sick of denying it. So
Yeah.
Brian Johnson's back. Phil Rudd's back.
Oh, is Phil Rudd back in the band? Really? Cool.
Phil Rudd is back. Yep. Didn't he try to kill somebody or something? Hire somebody to kill somebody?
Yeah, he tried to hire somebody.
Or was accused of doing it?
Yeah, accused and allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
I don't know how you're accused of doing it and saying you didn't do it. Why would they just pop up with his name, you know? Kind of weird.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, would,
Hey, he's out, so all's good, I guess.
Ooh.
Somebody else is out, too, out of jail. Bobby Liebling from Pentagram.
Out of jail.
Out of jail. For threatening his mother.
Shit.
Probably an 80-year-old woman he's threatened his mother.
Unbelievable.
That he probably still lives with. Oh, yeah.
In her basement.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Says, although it was publicly not disclosed, the victim was believed to be Liebling's mother, who was 87 years of age at the time of Bobby's arrest. How do you get a 7-year-old mother?
He's a mess.
That's crazy.
You guys ever watch that documentary, Last Days Here?
No.
No, I never have seen him.
You gotta watch. Very good documentary. Very good. It's sad because you can see how they could have really been a pretty, maybe a big band at the time, but since they really fucked up because they were having, I think it was them. I think Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons was coming to his house to, to see how the band was and all that, and then some people didn't show up. Or am I getting that mixed up with another band? I could be getting it mixed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember. But anyway, he could have been a pretty decent band there for a long time, but he screwed that up real bad. Because his stuff's pretty good. I like his stuff.
Yeah, I like Pentagram. He's pretty consistently been a fuck up though, much like Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah. They should start a band together. Call it the Fuck Ups.
The fuck ups.
Yeah, the name of the album would just be Procrastination, and it would never come out.
Could be a good drummer for that band.
Yeah.
Who's the drummer that's like really fucked? Oh, the guy from Journey. The drummer from Journey. No idea. You have no idea? The one I convicted of child porn.
Journey?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
No.
That was a long time ago. Not that long ago, but Journey drummer. Yep. It was child porn. I could be making false accusations here. Yeah, right here. Let's see. Oh, wrong band. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and look for it though. Former Journey, Dean Castrovano. Castronova.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, he was well, not really a session drummer, but you'd always see him on live tours for different bands because he played with Blue Oyster Cult for a little while too.
Corey's favorite band.
Stop.
Oh boy.
We'll convert him one day.
Yeah, right.
Yes, we will.
Okay. You say so.
We'll get you. All right. So, do you want to do album versus album?
Yeah. What was it? Screaming for Vengeance and Painkiller.
We'll do Screaming for Vengeance and Painkiller. Sure. I don't have any graphics for this one because this was a last-minute decision.
All my stuff's in my room.
My stuff's behind me, but I'm not getting it. All right, go.
What are we starting with? Painkiller? Screaming for. If we're gonna start with Painkiller, you better go.
Why?
Dude, I haven't. I don't remember that much of that record.
All right, Painkiller.
That was the first album with the new drummer Scott, right?
It was, yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Scott Travis from Racer X.
Yeah, he was a great addition, and he actually really, beefing the sound by, being included, in the band. I mean, he just sounded much more powerful in the band, without a doubt.
Yep. And then they wanted to sound like Pantera a little bit too. You don't think so?
I don't know.
But
Definitely heavier, without a doubt.
Definitely a heavier Priest. This is not like the typical 80s hair metal sound Priest.
No.
I mean, the title track is definitely will have to be a song. Like they'll have to play for as long as they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Have to be definitely included in their set. It's one of those, like just
it's an iconic metal song.
Iconic song, yeah.
Yeah. A Touch of Evil's a little 80s still. Like I said, I'm not. Well, like I was saying to you earlier, Wayne, I've never been crazy about that one.
I love that song. What about Nightcrawler?
I don't remember how Nightcrawler goes.
I should have listened to this damn album.
Yeah, probably. Between the Hammer and the Anvil is an awesome song. It's got a good solo in it and all that. I remember that one. One Shot of Glory is pretty driving too. Hell Patrol is actually a really good song. That one, it still retains their 80s catchiness a little bit, but fits in with Painkiller.
Yeah.
A lot of that is because of Scott Travis, though. He's just such a livelier, more interesting drummer than Dave Holland ever was.
But thinking about it, I don't really think Dave Holland played on most of the albums, especially like the later ones. It all sounds electronic.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think most of it's like a drum machine.
Yeah, well, I would assume all of Ram It Down is.
Yeah, that has to be.
Yeah.
You can tell a huge difference when Scott Travis started playing because you know somebody's actually playing the drums.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that album just bursts out. Sounds great. About the only thing didn't really like about the sound is Halford gets a little too screechy on this one.
Yeah. All Guns Blazing, that's a good song. All right.
Yeah, that's a good song, too. I'm not crazy about too many songs. I mean, it's a good album. It's definitely a good album, but, I just don't think it has any. It doesn't even come close to Screaming for Vengeance as far as
not at all.
How much content is on that record. It's just, it's epic.
Screaming
is a perfect record.
And not only that one, the one right after that, Defenders of the Faith, that one too. That one was amazing. You didn't like that one? There's so many awesome songs on that.
About half of that record's really good, and then the rest of it's just boring, average heavy metal songs.
Sorry for the tangent. I know we're not talking about that one.
That's okay.
We'll stay focused. I disagree with you, but we'll stay focused. Screaming for Vengeance.
The thing that really, bothers me about Painkiller is seeing. I can't even pronounce his last name, but Chris Sandra. You know what I'm talking about? The producer, Chris Sandrides. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But every time I see his name on an album, I don't want to listen to it almost.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not going to be. It's going to be okay, but it's not going to be their best album. He did Thin Lizzy's what the hell is it? What's is it the last album? No. Thunder and Lightning. That's not really a great album. It's okay. It's got some good songs. He did Halloween's Pink Bubbles Go Ape, and that's what killed them. That album really.
Yeah. Yeah, he really only manages to show up on like the watering down of bands.
Yeah, and he did a lot of Anvil albums, and I know Anvil like really praised him, and they wanted him to produce like that one album that they had before they did the movie.
Yeah, this is 13, but
Yeah.
you know, you're also talking about Anvil.
Anvil's cool, okay. I didn't really know
Anvil sucks.
No, they were cool. When I saw that documentary, it made me get into them. Now we're getting really off topic, but no, I don't
They've got like 2 good albums, and that's it. They're just not that good of a band. I love Litz. He's a great guy. Great enthusiasm, you know, but they're just not a good band.
They could use a better songwriter, you know, especially lyrics. But Lips is an awesome guitarist, and what's it, Rob Reiner is like one of my favorite drummers. Ever since I watched that movie and I found out more about that band, that guy is just freaking amazing. He reminds me kind of like Gar Samuelson from Megadeth. It's kind of got that jazz and that really heavy metal, you know, playing. He like blends it together. And he would sound awesome in Megadeth. If they got him in Megadeth, it'd be like old school Megadeth.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, really.
You gotta know. You gotta listen to more Anvil.
I'm good. Not interested.
You don't like Anvil either, Troy?
Nope.
Oh, they're coming on next week. Anyway, Screaming.
Oh, really?
No.
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
I'm kidding.
I know you are.
Screaming for Vengeance, the best Judas Priest album.
Oh, easily. I mean, like, it's a fucking, it goes all the way to 11, man. I mean, it's just a perfect record. Every song on it is good.
Well, it goes to 12, there's 12 songs on it.
What's that?
It goes up to 12, there's 12 songs on it.
There's 12? I thought there was 10.
Nah, there's only 10 on the original album.
I have the original cut.
There's 12.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at the remaster.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Excuse me. Yep, 10 songs. I'm an idiot. What else is new? Yep. 10
But I mean, yeah, just the way this starts out with the Hellion and going into Electric Eye, I mean, that is heavy metal.
Yes, it is.
And then Riding on the Wind is great song. Bloodstone.
Bloodstone, I don't. This is my least favorite song, Bloodstone.
Yeah, mine too.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Why? The chorus,
Because, huh?
the chorus.
It retains a little bit of the poppiness that they used pretty well in the past, you know, especially on like Point of Entry, and but they still keep it metal.
Yeah.
It's got a real. I'm surprised you don't at least like the chorus. That's real catchy and memorable.
Well, it's hard to forget one word.
Yeah, but no, I love the riff, and it's got a good.
Nah, I could do that. No sound on your show. Oh, that's nice. We have no sound. Awesome. I'm glad I set this all up.
Yeah, standout tracks to me are Electric Eye,
Oh, that's why. Whoops.
without a doubt. Electric Eye, Screaming for Vengeance, You've Got Another Thing Coming. Fever, love that song.
Yeah,
I love it. And Devil's Child. Love Devil's Child.
Devil's Child's cool.
Great song.
yep.
Well, if you just tuned in, I accidentally forgot to hit the
Record?
no, I hit record, but I had us on mute the whole time because I was playing a video in the beginning of the show, and I didn't want us to talk over it, and I forgot to turn it off.
Nice.
So I will have to do the usual of re-uploading the show. Such an idiot. But thanks to my wife, she watches the show to make sure I don't say anything about her.
But you actually did. Oh, you could hear it.
So we got sound on it. I'll upload this later. So anyway, yeah, I like Troy said, you know, all those songs are awesome.
Yeah, I don't dislike a single song on it. I mean, Pain and Pleasure, you know, a lot of people aren't crazy about, but I love that song. That's great, too. That's another one that goes back to Sin After Sin a little bit, or Killing Machine with the feel of it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I mean, I get that Painkiller was a big turning point for them and why people love it, especially with Scott Travis on drums, but Screaming for Vengeance, also the title track, is one of my favorite songs ever. That song just rips from beginning to end. But
Yeah.
Screaming's like the pinnacle of heavy metal. The Painkiller's an okay comeback, but there's like 2 songs on there I'd call classic, and that's about it.
Well, you need to listen to it again.
Yeah, but you know what? This album, this particular album, I could listen to this album on vinyl because I still have the original first pressing, over and over. Just play it, flip it, play it, flip it, just over and over. This album,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I couldn't do that with Painkiller. I mean, it's a good album. You know, I mean, but this has a number of standout tracks, and that are permanently engraved into my skull forever till I die.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I remember all of Screaming for Vengeance.
Yeah.
You know, enough said. It's a great record.
I got
One of the top of all time.
Yeah, I got into them pretty late. I actually didn't get into Priest until Jugulator,
Wow.
and I was
That is late. Very late.
fan. Yeah, I know. I wasn't even a Ripper fan. I liked Painkiller, but I really never. When I came out, I was like in middle school, so I was just getting into metal at the time. So I didn't really.
That was the first album of theirs I had on CD.
Yeah, same with me. And then I worked my way backwards, and of course, you know, I like the Hopper stuff.
Screaming for Vengeance was my first Priest album.
Really.
Oh, well, my first Priest album was I Got Unleashed in the East on vinyl. Now, that's another one I could listen to repeatedly, like you were saying, and just keep flipping it over.
It is good, but I didn't realize how fake that album is.
It's just his vocals.
I thought there was other stuff that they touched up too, no? Just vocals?
Nah, just his vocals.
I hate that.
You want to hear it raw. There's cracks.
I want to hear every mistake.
But yeah, and Stained Class, Hellbent for Leather. They have so many great records, but Ram It Down I've never cared for. That album is just awful.
I don't think they liked it either.
It's a throwaway record. I mean, Halford even sounds bored on that Blood Red Sky song everybody loves. I mean, he still turns in a good performance, but I just don't know how you can take anything to be an epic, let alone a metal epic, with a drum machine like that.
I don't know. I guess that was the thing to do back then, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Blue Oyster Cult did it, but they made an album that was closer to an AOR album.
Yeah.
I mean, this is still on the glammier side of heavy metal, but it sounds bad. It sounds horrible. But we're not even talking about that album. But
We have nothing.
although that is a good point to lead into how refreshing Painkiller sounded, though, because you had Turbo, which there's a couple good songs on that, and I got good memories tied to it because it was one of the first ones I had on cassette.
That's one of the best Priest songs on there.
Yeah, Out in the Cold.
No.
What?
The Sentinel.
That's Defenders of the Faith, not Turbo.
You serious?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm wrong again.
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
That is one of their best songs, though, and that's my favorite song off of Defenders of the Faith. Well, that's kind of a toss-up between that and Freewheel Burning, but yeah, definitely not on Turbo. But with some of the stuff you pick sometimes, though, I was honestly expecting you to say something like Turbo Lover or Locked In.
I like Turbo Lover.
I do like Turbo Lover. That's an okay song.
Out in the Cold. Out in the Cold.
It's a good song, actually.
Oh, you know,
Out in the
I don't know why I was thinking of this when mixed it up with the other song, but Reckless.
Oh, Reckless is a good song.
That's a good song. I don't know why I was thinking of.
Yeah, actually, I like Reckless a lot.
It's a good ender.
Yeah, Turbo Lover's a good song. Out in the Cold. Locked In's good too.
There's a lot of good
I mean,
songs on that album.
no, not a lot. We just pretty much named all of them because after that, what?
No, they're Rock You All Around the World.
Rocky.
Out in the Cold. Wild Nights, Hot Crazy Days.
No, I would rather fucking go deaf than listen to that song again, man. That is one of the worst things Judas Priest ever put to record.
There's worse than that. Ram It Down.
No. That's blasphemy.
Ram It Down.
Yeah, no. Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days is such a bad song.
Let's see. Ram It Down.
And then
Keep bashing Ram It Down. Let me see. Ram It Down. Heavy Metal. That's probably the only good song on this album. Love Zone.
yeah.
I can't remember that one. Come and Get It. Don't remember that one. Hard.
Yeah,
Blood Red Skies. Okay, there's two good songs on this. I'm a Rocker. No idea. Johnny Be Good. Terrible. Love You to Death. I don't even remember the rest of these songs. All right, so two good songs. Yeah.
Yep, terrible album.
Terrible album. The last album that featured a longtime drummer Dave Holland. Replaced.
Yep. And the only album that is worse than that album that they happened to put out was Demolition with Ripper.
That's true. That's very true. That is
Followed by Nostradamus.
Oh, no. Nostradamus isn't as bad as everybody thinks it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Yes, it is. And I had the misfortune of seeing it live. And I really like Judas Priest, and I've seen them live quite a few times. But Nostradamus, no thank you.
It's not a typical Priest album when it's not there.
They just need to go back and play Stained Class in its entirety. Or Screaming for Vengeance. I'd take either or.
I'm guessing Troy don't like it either because he's just keeping quiet. You know when Troy don't like something because he don't open it.
You know me so well now, huh?
I figured you out already. Yep.
Yeah. Since we went off topic of the actual albums anyway, I might as well talk about the one I was talking about originally, Point of Entry.
Yeah, as I said, go ahead.
I think it's a cool record, and it's an interesting period in their career because they didn't have any songs in the can, any demos, nothing written. So they went on vacation, well, not on vacation, but they went somewhere tropical to record it. I can't remember if it was Spain or the Bahamas now, but I think the record really reflects that relaxed tone.
It does because it's a very slow album.
Yeah, and there's some neat experimentation on it, too. Mostly with pop, but it's not as bad as what they would do later on.
No. Well, like I said earlier, you got Heading Out to the Highway. That's like one of their famous songs. And the hell, Solar Angels is good. Desert Plains is good. That's all I can
Yeah, Turning Circles is great. Oh,
yeah. That's got that weird intro.
I think
don't
it's
like this one either.
probably not.
He's not even listening anymore. He checked out.
Me? I didn't check out nothing.
That 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, they they recorded it in Ibiza, Spain, is what it was. I had to look it up just because I couldn't remember. But yeah, so you don't like this one either, Troy?
The fifth.
It's okay. It's this album is like how old is this album? How old is this album?
38 years ago.
Yeah, 1981. So you can blast it now. It's okay. I'm sure they get over it. Okay.
I mean, most people do. Most people don't like this record anywhere nearly as much as I do.
No, they don't. But that's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah, you could like, people. Everybody's different.
Right. Everybody's got their own opinion.
They can.
Hey, as long as we can all agree that dual guitar lead and Heading Out to the Highway is one of the best things ever.
It is excellent.
Yes.
It's stellar. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's actually, honestly, I think that's one of the best opening songs they've ever had. For its time period, it's as good of an opener as the Hellion. I don't mean in comparison of the two songs against each other, but
Hellion is tough.
Yeah, Hellion's top.
Tough one to top, that one. Hellion.
But I love Heading Out to the Highway.
That's very radio friendly, Heading Out to the Highway.
It is.
Yeah, pretty much the whole record is really. I mean, you Say Yes is kooky as shit. I like it because it's catchy, but definitely not one of my favorite songs from them. They misstep a few times on here.
You.
Yeah, All the Way, Troubleshooter, Don't Care For. But then you got stuff like Turning Circles and Solar Angels and Heading Out to the Highway. Don't Go, I like too. And Hot Rockin's good.
Don't Go. Is that one that starts off like really slow, like dump?
Yeah.
I hate that song. As soon as that happens, you lost me.
Yeah. A lot of people say the same thing. I like it. It's got a different feel to it. It's almost funky.
And that's all that's important, is that you like it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, speaking of live albums, do you think Them will ever have a live album? You ever think about one?
Who?
Them.
Which band?
Them.
Okay, which one?
Yours.
Me? Not my band.
Cake.
That's not my band.
Cake.
Them live album. Yeah, maybe. I think there's another concept first. That's what I would think.
So?
Yeah, possibly. There's got to be.
Well, yeah, of course. But, could be like a little in between, before maybe the next one. You never know.
Or there could be a third one to conclude the story, and then they could do that.
Yeah, you could do that too. You can do whatever you want. You're a band.
Listen, it's KK. It's KK. If KK, I don't know. He might. I don't know. He might just kick the bucket after that.
Yeah.
They might have to get. They might have to get someone else to fill in the shoes. Maybe bring in the heavy guns. Bring in Sean Peck.
No, that.
I love the guns.
Yeah, the guns.
Guns are metal. Guns are metal, no doubt.
Guns and skulls.
Yeah. But we'll see.
What were you saying, Greg?
I was going to say, the live album, it's got to start off with that Dead by Dawn cover I was talking about.
A completely different bands.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, the point of it is to integrate it with, the mystique of KK. I think it could be cool. But yeah, or, you could just come around as Cold Steel again. That'd be cool too. I would thoroughly enjoy that.
It's so funny that you mentioned that. So back in 2013, when Cold Steel did, 2013 and 2014, some live runs in Europe and in the United States. I told the guys that were formed with me, because the original band didn't want to play. So I said, let's write another album. Okay, we're gonna write another album. Well, I'm already 2 albums, or I should say KK's already 2 albums into them, and they're still writing it. And I already know what I would call it, but I can't say. But I know what the album would be called. And then I had another idea that would make even more sense, but it would involve more people, and I don't think that that's going to happen. You know, it's really tough when people get caught up in day-to-day, the day-to-day life. It's so hard. As people get older, and they have responsibilities, and whatever the case may be, family, whatever. It gets more and more difficult. And when you do something, you make a commitment to record a record and possibly do some show, do a string of shows afterwards. That's a big commitment. That's a lot of time to put into that. I mean, you're talking 8 to 10 song album. You're going to put in several hundred hours of creating it, prepping it, and then recording it, and then you have to prepare it to play it live. And it's a lot. It's a huge commitment. Huge. We'll see.
It's hard to find people that commit to doing all that.
Listen, I used to have back in the day when I played with Cold Steel, I used to think about it. Well, we were all in between 2 or 3 different towns, and so when we have to rehearse, we only have to drive 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops, but then over the years, after I didn't play for a long time and then I started playing, I found a bunch of guys that, just to play cover songs. I found guys in a general locale, or maybe about 10, 15 minutes again. But then when I wanted to really be more serious about it, then it automatically, the geographic location spread out for me, an hour and a half drive. Yeah. An hour and a half drive one way. Wow. And I was just like, I did that for probably about 2 years. And then after that, now geographic location is thousands of miles away. And now you have to jump on a plane to just go meet and rehearse with them. So that's now what's the next step? I mean, we're going to be on opposite ends of the earth. I don't know. Maybe that's the next step. But honestly, I don't think I personally could top that. I don't think I would want to top that. Maybe when all's said and done, I just don't do that anymore. No. I'll be cool to just record and, just stuff that I could do from home. Right. I actually started looking into voiceover stuff, voiceover work. Not now. I'm not talking about now, but in the future. When I'm too old to jump around on a stage. Maybe some voiceover work would be fun. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of different voices that I could use, so it'd be interesting. But we'll see. Again, I like recording. I love recording. It just, right now it's just been tough. But I'm right there. I'm almost there. I actually finished today a script. I finished because I'm catching up. I'm going down the list.
Good job.
And so the script for a video for them, I'll send it to you guys. It's actually supposed to come out on the 30th of April. Okay. And now I also I had to communicate with the videographer. They're called visitor-1.com. And there's one video on there called Godzilla. That's like a creative artsy type that's more geared towards what we want. But it's very interesting because, it took me probably 2 days to write the script. And I think it's a really good script. So I'll send it to you. See what you guys think. It's actually 2 parts. It's a teaser that's going to come out on the 19th of April that basically gives a little bit about what's going to happen. And then on the 30th, the actual music video. It's going to be for the song As the Sage Burns.
Cool.
So it's going to be pretty cool, I think. I think it's going to be, you know, I mean, the videographer, he read the script. He said, this sounds pretty awesome. So we'll see. We'll see if it's doable. We'll see if, you know, there's a budget to do what I wrote down. I think there is. I don't think it's completely, you know, out of line with the budget that was discussed originally. But now it's like, okay, here it is. Here's a script. You know, I have another script I have to write too for a graphic novel to get the graphic novelist going too. That's another thing I have to do. So I'm just trying to bang things out. You know, we're getting a really cold weather, banging things out time. You know, so
No better time but now.
Yep, and then, you know, you have a number of dates. Pretty much the dates are finalized. It's like 3 weeks in May and then like a week and a half in June overseas. And it's going to be a little tough. But whatever, it is what it is, and I'm cool with it. You know, one of the guys sent me just a little clip of part of a song that he's working on. And I listened. It was like 30 seconds. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I have 2 titles available, Title A and Title B. He says, I like Title A. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. It's Title A. But not everything works out like that, but it's pretty cool. I like the title, and it's going to be pretty cool. But, you know, that's sometimes like I'll have titles.
Yeah, I like the title too. Title A. How inconspicuous.
It's called The Thin Veil. I just gave you the title.
Cool. I like it.
Veil. Yeah, it's actually well, I don't want to reveal the story.
No, don't. Yeah.
But it's like a climatic point before something big happens in the story, and the song is really cool. Like if you listen to that song, what's that song? Secret Stairs. The way it starts on that Them album, Man of the Seven Gables. That song, it has kind of like a feel like that. It's really cool. I like it. He's a good writer. They're good writers, both of them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Very cool.
So maybe I'll have Mr. Nasty Face hang out with KK.
Yeah.
The pictures. Or actually, Marmaduke over here.
Marmaduke.
Might be in a picture or two. Her eyes all healed, so that'll be pretty
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got to write her into the story, too. We'll see. I don't know.
The Beast from the East.
But the label's very, you know, I didn't make those dates up. They said, okay. I asked, well, look, this is the ideas. This is what do you think? Okay. April 19th and April 30th. And I'm like, okay, why April 19th? April 19th for the teaser, April 30th for the actual video. Why? Well, it's some kind of, in Germany, it's some kind of, something to do with witches on that day. I don't know. I forgot what he wrote to me, but it's something to do with witches. And because there's a lot of, witchy overtones, I mean,
right.
it's about a coven performing a cleansing ceremony,
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that he chose that day, that day. So, but anyway, that's it. April 19th and April 30th. So that's some news that nobody has.
Awesome.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Rat salad.
So we'll see.
Cool. Gives me something to look forward to.
You guys will see it all before it even goes. Come on. Fringe benefits.
Oh, yes.
All right.
So,
I guess that's enough stories for now.
Yeah.
All right. Till next week. Sorry, tonight was a little mishmash of I don't know what the hell we did, but if you missed the beginning of the episode, we were supposed to have a guest on. He didn't show up, so we'll see what happens next week or next month, whatever. Until then, what, Greg?
I was just going to say, buy some Judas Priest if you don't have it already.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just by screaming for vengeance, and you'll be good.
You can never go wrong with Priest.
Screaming for Vengeance and Unleashed in the East. You need both of those records.
All right, if you say so.
You go listen to Tyrant from that album again, and then say that.
I like the original version. I'm sorry.
You like the original version of Tyrant better than the live version.
And I actually like the Overkill version of Tyrant, too. The cover.
Sherrod, you are, sir.
Sorry, I'm a weird duck. What do you want me to tell you?
I sent you guys the script, by the way.
It's not your first time being wrong, Wayne. Thank you, Troy.
On
What was that?
I said thank you.
On
And I
that,
told him it probably isn't his first time being wrong, and now I'm going to let him finish the show on that note.
good night.
Good night. Farewell. Natal.
Yeah, I've never seen The Sound of Music, so.
Me neither. And I don't
Thank-
think horns look retarded.
Nighty night.
Night, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
See ya.